Good afternoon. It's Friday, April 3rd, and as promised, I'm giving you another update on Daemen College's response to the coronavirus. I had hoped this afternoon to be able to say to you that so far we have not had a single individual test positive for the virus. That was true until a few hours ago. We did get word that one individual, a student, international student, did test positive. The student is not on campus. In fact, the student left Buffalo about 2 weeks ago. We don't know that that person had it when that person left. That person may have contracted it on the plane, long plane ride back to home. But we are trying to track down any and all of the students that that person may have had contact with. Other than that, we have had no indication of any individual, student, faculty, or staff member that has tested positive. So that's a very, very good thing for us all. We have had a few individuals in our Brooklyn and in our fully online programs that have tested positive, but they're being treated and taken care of. And so far as we know, there's not been any spread of that either. So that's very good. We have had over the interim about 31 self-quarantined individuals, some faculty, some staff, some students. These are people that we thought it would be best to go through the quarantine process because they may have been coming from or through a hotspot or for whatever reason. 14 of those have now cleared quarantine without any problem. 17 are still in the process. So it looks to me that our measures have worked to really mitigate any risk to the campus and to us all. As you know, instruction is fully online now and seems to be working very, very well. I have to say, I'm really very proud of everybody. All of our faculty really stepped up. I think it's been a really amazing process to see people that had never even done online teaching join those that always do online teaching, and really it's been almost seamless. I have to congratulate all of the faculty for the great job that you did in making this happen, and all of our professionals in academic affairs, Dr. Brogan and everybody else, who really stepped up and made this a reality. You really should be very proud of yourself. And of course, we couldn't have done it either without our IT professionals, Melaine Kenyon, and all of the folks sometimes working way late into the night to make sure that when we started, we were really up and ready for it. So I hope that you'll find time in the future to thank them as well. The executive committee of the cabinet continues to meet on a regular basis, as does our emergency response team. A lot of the time it's remotely, and we continue to stay on top of things. I think that with all of these measures, we really have kept things under control. I hope that continues to be the case. It's obviously a fluid situation, and I know the governor says there are another 2 or 3 weeks before the peak in New York, so we'll have to see. But so far, our entire community is staying relatively safe. I do want to thank the Faculty Senate for all the great work they have done. I have to say to those of you who are faculty, you have really excellent leadership all the way through this year. It's been a great Senate, a great group of people to work with, especially the leadership. And Dr. Greg Ford and Dr. Lisa Parshall, they've been wonderful. I've been in contact with them quite frequently. They've been real partners in a lot of this planning and all the unusual kinds of things that need to be done this year. So I hope you'll also find the opportunity to thank them for their leadership and the great work that they have done. Now, I know that you've probably seen or read that some colleges have not taken the path that we have. They have temporarily laid off or furloughed a lot of their staff and some faculty. We made a decision early on that we were not going to do that. We were going to keep everybody on the payroll for as long as possible and weather this storm. That continues to be one of our highest priorities, and it seems to be working. I think that we'll be able to get through this semester intact. And I want to thank all of you for the great job you're doing in working at home and teaching at home and answering phone calls and all the things that you need to do to keep us running. So we'll continue to keep that as a main priority, but I don't want to sugarcoat things either. As you know, we have always had transparency as one of our key priorities here. And I'm really not worried about this particular year, even though we've been really hit financially. You need to understand that it's not just the inconvenience of all of us working at home and so on. The college, like every college really, certainly in the state and probably in the nation, has had a huge financial hit. So for example, rather than 600 or 700 students on campus, residents, we only have 135 students. A lot of students got refunds. Some students have actually withdrawn. And there are other kinds of revenue that are not coming in. So we're going to do the best we can to try to get to the end of the year with a balanced budget. Quite frankly, it's not likely. We'll have to probably dip into our into our endowment a bit, but that's okay. We've been there before. We all got through the 2 years of the New York free tuition program and what that did to us. It was tough, but it was manageable. We know how to work with that. But I will be clear to you that what is a worry is a kind of 1-2 punch. A lot of the presidents of colleges around this country are very much worried about what the next year will bring. We have some presidents actually reporting that their recruitment efforts are coming up with, if you're ready for this, 0 students deposited. But everybody is saying that they're way down from where they expected to be, where they wanted to be, and so on. That's also the case with us. We're a bit down, but the good news of this is that we have a really great team in enrollment management under Dr. Nayer's leadership. They're actually really making progress. I just got a report today that our graduate numbers are actually up. We're still working, though, on the undergraduate class, which is what we really need. So anything that you could do in your capacity to help our professionals there, I appreciate it. We need to keep the present students engaged and happy with their work here and with Daemen. Anything that you could do to help that process, I appreciate it. And anything that you can do to help the enrollment people bring in a new class, whether it's new graduates or the new undergraduates, I appreciate that as well, because we don't want to be in the boat that I think some colleges will be in. I've actually read in the Chronicle and repeated in a few other places a prediction that as many as 20% of small colleges around this nation may close in the next 2 years because of this coronavirus pandemic. What that means is that their finances were so shaky to begin with that this was kind of the last straw, and it pushes them over the edge. I have no doubt that this will happen to a lot of places. Maybe 20% is a little much, but I don't think that that's the case with Daemen. I think we're really very strong. We have very strong programs. We have waiting lines sometimes to get into some of these programs. We have first-rate faculty and staff as well. So I think we're well positioned, but the one thing we don't want to do is take it for granted. We don't want to be a statistic. We want to keep going. We want to actually emerge stronger from this, which I think is actually possible if you think about it. So whatever you can do to help continue to help the process, I appreciate it. We'll continue to keep everybody on payroll and do all the good things that we do. Remember, we're Daemen, we're strong. It sounds like a cliche, but I really mean it. You know, it is a kind of corny when we all talk about the Daemen family, but you know, that's what has gotten us through things in the past. We rally around one another. I think that's what's going to get us through this time. So go Daemen family. And by the way, I do want to say one thing. Part of that Daemen family that should also get some kudos and is always overlooked, as I almost just did, is our athletics professionals. You know, it's easy to forget that many of our students come to Daemen through the athletics program. And it usually is the case that they actually even have higher GPAs and higher academic performance than the overall population of students as a whole. They are doing an amazing job helping the enrollment management people in bringing and retaining our students. So when you have a chance, do thank them for all they do as well. Anyway, good day. I'll give you more updates as needed. Thank you. Stay safe.